everyone, it's Curator Steph with Connections Curator, and welcome to another Community Connect. In this week's episode, I am thrilled to introduce another BNI partner from Success Partners, Diane Dew of Converging Currents. And Diane, welcome. I'm so excited to have a chance to talk to you this week. And yes, we are actually coming to you from Ponte Vedra. And I haven't driven out here in some time. I forgot how beautiful that drive is. Very relaxing.
It's more beautiful as the spring approaches.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
We like it.
Well, so what we're doing in these weekly episodes is really talking about and learning about businesses here in Northeast Florida, how you can help other business owners and be of service, and then just a little bit more about connections and how we connect. So why don't we start with you just telling us a little bit about you and your business?
Okay. Converging Currents started in 2012. I was basically in the newspaper industry for 17 years, and 11 of the 17 years was with a magazine called Water's Edge, which some people might or might not remember. It was subscription based and an oversized lifestyle publication that unfortunately went down in 2008 with the real estate industry. At that time, they put me back into the newspaper. They laid off the entire staff, and worked for a couple more years. And after several conversations with my husband, and at the behest of the people from the magazine, they kept saying I needed to start this business. And I'm like, why me? So anyway, in 2012, I quit my job and started Converging Currents with everyone from the magazine. So we have editors, writers, architectural photographers, 6 designers, myself, who basically gets all the projects online. And at the last year working for the paper, I was a commercial print broker, and because I've had the same phone number for so many years, I started the business in February, and by July I realized that I had to keep that part of the business because everybody kept calling me. So the print part was pretty simple, and it's turned out very well. I've got over 300 clients.
Wow.
And still work with everyone from the magazine, as well as we've had to add some more people, because obviously when you're working in the digital sense, you've got to have more of a digital focus, and so I do have people that help me with that as well.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, it's so interesting you said that people encourage you to do this, because one of the things that I teach in my coaching is one of the parts is asking people, right? So if you're just not really sure what your next step is oftentimes people know more than you, right, about yourself.
Oh, yeah. I guess so. I mean, they do. They were insistent, not even just encouraging. They insisted I do it because they knew I was unhappy where I was, and you could see, I was in the newspaper industry at its highs, and saw it crash.
Wow.
Knew that it was time to get out. So glad I did. Very glad I did. I much prefer being an entrepreneur. I like helping people very much. I like saving people money on what they already do. I can tell a quick story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just recently, this is one of several, but just recently quoted a very large project for another BNI member. I won't say who, but ended up saving them $750 on the job. Which is, what could you do with that kind of money?
Right.
By saving it. And I think that's a big deal for me.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a small business person, and no, I don't like to promote myself, as I told you, Stephanie, but I think that if it's helping people and makes them look good and helps build their brand and helps them do other things with that money, I think that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, no, that's phenomenal. And like you said, I mean, especially as a business owner, every dollar counts. It really does. And it does. When you can save that amount of money, what you could potentially put that into, whether it be more digital or whatever you're trying to, that's a phenomenal. So talk a little bit about, because I know when I first met you, what I loved is that you immediately went into, let's look at your brand and start discussing that. So talk a little bit about what you do with your clients when it comes to that.
I do want to find out more about them and their personality, more about their business, what hurdles have they overcome to get where they are today, and what is it that prompted them to say, you know what, I need to work on my branding. That helps. And then I like to find out what current marketing they have or what they have done, what pieces they have. We put everything in a pile and kind of say, I like this, I didn't like this, I like that, these are my colors, I'd rather have this, kind of go through what they'd like to see. And then I do give them advice on what might catch people's eyes, where you only have probably these days, it used to be 3 seconds, it's probably a second and a half nowadays. But it's a consistent pounding away at the public or your sphere of influence, and potentially new customers that they might have seen you online, they might have seen you on a sign in the front yard, they might have seen, so it all kind of eventually they understand and remember who your business is and what you do. But it takes time. But if you don't start now, it's not going to ever happen for you. So it's taking that first step. Just like those folks who don't have social media presence, when you start out, you have no followers, you have no likes. But the whole idea is to build it to a platform that you can use to market your business, to get your message out, to potentially help others. Like you were talking about, Stephanie, you're doing right now, actually. So it takes time, but you have to get started and don't wait. That's, the best advice I can give you is don't wait, get started. And a couple of years from today, you'll look back and say, I'm glad I did it.
You know what? I would love to ask you, and I didn't set you up for this, but I've been having a lot of conversations with some mentors of mine about business cards because they're kind of all over the place now. And yet you still even have some people, and I won't, I won't, stereotype anybody, but that'll think that they don't need them because now I have LinkedIn. So I'd love for you to just give a little bit of advice on business cards.
Well, I would have given the same potential opinion. I do every kind of printing, including business cards. I'll do whatever that person might need. But the person who really put it into clear view for me was Dr. Michelle, who's also a BNI member. She was my mentor when I joined 6 years ago. But I remember in our first sit down, we had our little business card books. And she said, you need to take all these business cards from every member and put them in the book. And I said, well, Dr. Michelle, that's kind of crazy. Shouldn't we put them in our phones? Doesn't that make sense? But she was, you can put them in your phones, but people, when you go to any meeting and a sit down, you bring that book with you. They're going to either ask you what that book is, or you're going to just hand it to them and say, hey, you have a home, you may have some needs. There's a lot of great people that I recommend highly to do any kind of job that you might need around your home or your business. Take a look. If you grab a card out of here, just tell me which ones you took. And that way I'll know which ones to replace, and I'll let them know that you took the card. So I'm thinking, great referrals. That's giver's gain. You want to be able to promote those people that are working with you in your networking groups. And let's make it it's a verb. Networking is a verb. You have to do it. You actually have to do it. And it goes both ways. And I've seen over the years, it's definitely the more you give, the more you get back. So I think that's a big deal. So business cards are important. Bottom line, I'm sorry that was a long way around.
No, it's perfect.
People do like to hand someone something. And it is an impression of you. You can't see this, but on my desk, there's 3 stacks of business cards. And I oftentimes find myself going, I have that business card. It might be in my car, but I have it. I did this last week. Somebody was asking for a company that could vet employees for her. And I went, I know, I met that person. And it was in my car. I got the card out. It's on my desk now. And that was a referral. So it worked out. It was great.
It's funny that you said that because I'm the same way, actually. I have a little bin, and I kind of have them categories like, this is from BNI, this is from the chamber, or this is just random things. It's funny you said that because I do the same thing. I hadn't thought about it. Oh, wait a minute. I think I met somebody at this thing, and I go shuffling through my cards. So you're right. So business cards are not dead people.
No, they aren't. And they're also first impression for your branding. And so we're talking about branding, and that is a great way to say, this is who I am. And of course, for someone like myself who is marketing, if I don't have a nice business card and I'm a printer, then besides, that's bad. So I better have one. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a couple.
I thank you for that, because it is. It's been a conversation that's been coming up with a few of my mentors that are still maybe not making the show. I'm getting asked this question, so I love that. So let's talk about, you already made the segue to networking and connections. So talk about how connections have really helped you in your business. I mean, obviously they helped you start your business.
I'm an introvert. And don't ask, both my husband and I are in sales. We're both introverts. Is that crazy?
No.
We really are. So I have to push myself. And a lot of people, I have to say, I meet a lot of people that say the same thing. But networking forces you out of your comfort zone. It forces you to get up and speak in front of people, not in front of cameras, but it forces you to promote yourself and meet other people, and actually we've forged major friendships too over the years. I think I've lived here for going on 29 years, and it takes you actually, I mean, again, it's a verb. You have to go and actually not just meet once a week with people. You've got to get together outside of the meetings and things like that to really get to know how somebody ticks. You may have preconceived notions about how people are, why they are, what you're seeing may be completely different from how they really are. And networking has been a really good thing for me. My dog's networking right now.
He's saying hello to somebody probably. I love that, actually. He's building a sense of community right now. I'm home.
My dogs are extroverts.
Well, that kind of actually fits, right?
Yeah,
an introvert gets extrovert puppy. One of the questions I've been asking everybody is, can you share a piece of advice that you got along the way that really helped you out?
For those of you who are out there looking at starting your own business and you're working for a company, and you may be happy, you may not, there may be something inside of you that's saying, I really need to do something. And listen to that voice, because your employer is not going to tell you that you have entrepreneurial tendencies. They're not going to tell you that. They want you working for them. So don't assume you don't. Make sure you follow that little fire that's burning in you. It really is good. And the other piece of advice is it's not what happens to you, it's how you handle what happens to you in your life and your business and the whole thing. Things are going to happen, and they do. Challenges are put in front of us. I think it's God's way of building us up and teaching us we're stronger than we really are. We think we are anyway. So that's been a good one too. But there you go.
No, I love that, and it's so true. That I think deep down inside, and so it was probably the same thing when people mentioned it. You're like, you're right. Yeah, I think I have been glad, and there's always people. I think that's the other part about once you've built a community, then you have people to lean into when you decide to make that.
People that you feel comfortable with, and that will promote you just boom like that. They don't even think about it, because they've either worked with you for a long time or they just know you. And it's so much easier when you get to know the people that you're working with on a pretty much a daily basis, or at least a weekly basis, that you they roll off your tongue when someone needs something, because you just know them and you're comfortable and you know they're going to do a good job for whomever you're referring them to. So it's a good thing. Thing.
Awesome.
Keep working at it. That's all I got to say. It takes time, but you got to start somewhere. Start now.
Yeah.
And within a couple of years, you'll be going, "Wow, I'm so glad I did this."
Yeah. Well, and I think that's it. Like, you hear these stories, and that's what I always tell people, and even myself, having just been not quite a year into my business, is don't let all these, I was a success in 6 months, right? I mean, it takes a good 2 years, 3 years to really build up a business, and that's okay.
Right. I think that the truth of the matter is. The Small Business Administration even said it's 6 years for you to turn green in a business, owning a business. Now, fortunately, a lot of us small business owners don't have that kind of a challenge, but depending on how many employees you have, what your business model is, that's the average. So be encouraged. Go out there and fight for it. It's awesome.
Oh, I love that. And you have a community here to support you, and if not, we can help you.
Well, hey, listen, that's the other thing is I'm a mentor coordinator in my group now, and I always tell everybody that's new, anyone on this list, you have their email, you have their phone number. You can text them, call them, email, and we can all help you, and we all want to help you. We want you to be successful. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to feel included as part of, all of us. We all want the same thing for you.
Absolutely, and that's what I always tell people. That's why it's so important. One of my first steps when I started my business was to find my groups, right? And so that's what I always advise people is that, especially when you're making a transition like that, say you're going from employee to being entrepreneurs, find some groups. And because at the end of the day, even, and I love B&I because we don't have to worry about the competition. And so we truly are, when we're in our chapter really advocates for each other and champions. So
Right,
that's one of
true.
the things I love about it is that, and I'm in a lot of organizations that are the same, and you'll find that even if people are like in B&I, you're going to have a special gift and talent that somebody else might, even if they're another printer.
Still looking for my special gift.
Oh, I think we found it. You're a great
no.
speaker.
I don't
You're a
know
great
about
speaker.
that. No, I don't know about that.
Well, Diane, thank you so much for being with us
thanks
this
for
week. We
having
really
me.
appreciate it.
Thanks for pushing me to do this.
So, well, thank you guys, everybody, also for joining us. There'll be more information in the post and the links on how you can get in touch with Diane if you're looking for a really great printer and also a phenomenal person to really help you assess your brand. That was, again, one of the things I love. So, and remember, get out there every day and do one thing a day to curate you. It's so important to get out there, make your connections, and curate them. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye.